Covering the islands of the Bahamas, ZNS Network presents The Bahamas Tonight.
The following portion of the news is brought to you by McDonald's. McDonald's, I'm loving it.
Good evening and welcome to the Bahamas Tonight, the National Report. I'm Keishel Adderley. Thanks for joining us. Topping the news tonight, relief for storm-ravaged islands will come in part through an exigency order which came into effect yesterday. Prime Minister Christie announced the declaration which came into effect, and Jimenita Swain tells us which islands will benefit 3 weeks after Hurricane Sandy's flood and wind damage left its mark over a broad cross-section of the country.
First Assistant Secretary for the National Emergency Management Agency, NEMA, Crystal Glinton, says the exigency order will eliminate persons affected by Sandy having to pay customs duty on items to complete repairs.
And it's going to be for a period up to 90 days. They're able to bring in buildings material, electrical fixtures and material, plumbing fixtures and materials, household fixture and furnishing and appliances, freezers and heaters, material for cleaning or repair to property, including fences, fishing boats, gears, parts and apparatus, farm equipment and utilities, and motor vehicles.
NEMA assessments reveal residents in a number of family islands sustained damages to their homes, farms, and motorized vehicles.
For those persons who have been affected, particularly in these islands, Abaco, Cat Island, Eleuthera, Exuma and Keys, Grand Bahama, Long Island, and all persons who have been affected to contact their island administrators.
Clinton says residents need to move quickly to file the necessary paperwork to qualify for relief.
Persons, because the exigency order has been issued for 90 days, that means it will expire February the 15th of 2013. We want persons to deal with this as quickly as possible. Now, you must prove that you had damages. More than likely, an assessment team has visited the homes, that either social workers, Defense Force officers, or persons from Ministry of Works.
NEMA officials say residents need to complete a form similar to this one to reduce processing time. Clinton says that should take about 24 hours once all the submitted information is verified. Jimenita Swain, ZNS Network News.
32 illegals, including 3 children, have been taken in by immigration officials. They're being held after it was discovered that they were either overstaying or had landed here illegally. The group was picked up following an apprehension exercise in Eleuthera. Immigration teams, with the assistance of the Royal Bahamas Defense Force, conducted an apprehension exercise in North and South Palmetto Point yesterday. 16 more straw vendors are out of business tonight, and the Straw Market Authority continues its systematic shutdown of vendors who owe rent. Just this past Monday, the authority suspended the licenses of 54 vendors based at the downtown Straw Market and carried out the same exercise at the Cable Beach Market this morning. The authority's Deputy Chairman, William Nottage, provides details of today's exercise.
Today's exercise really began last night when we did the actual closing off of the stalls. This morning we had our compliance officers in place so that when the market opened at Pompey Village, persons were then they would have seen that their stalls would have been closed. This would have come, as the chairman indicated, after several discussions with them. And then the letter asking them to take care of this business within a 2-week period. There were 18 stalls for closure. Only 2 persons came forward to address the matter, and then the other 16 did not.
Mr. Nottage says none of the 16 vendors showed up today. Neither have they made arrangements to bring their accounts up to date. But he insists the authority has made it extremely easy for vendors to pay the $35 weekly rental payment and says there's no excuse. Chairman Ron Pinder tells ZNS News that this exercise is really the last resort for the authority, which is trying to improve operations at both markets.
It is important for me to say that the authority is in no way seeking to put people out of business. But what we are encouraging them to do is to make agreements to bring their arrears current. Okay, and we're aware that any number of persons are experiencing financial difficulties, but we have cases where persons have not paid any license fees at all since they've entered the various markets, and we're seeking to remedy that situation.
Now, up to the end of October, arrears stood at just over $330,000. But since the authority began cracking down on delinquent vendors, that figure has dropped to $263,000. Officials say the initiative has prompted other vendors to begin paying on time. Darren Cash has been elected chairman of the Free National Movement. The election also saw party members select Brenzel Roll as deputy chairman. With 120 votes, Cash soundly defeated his sole opponent, Dion Folks, who only managed to secure 50 votes. Brenzel Roll, meantime, the new deputy chairman, secured 101 votes, while his opponent, Fenton Nemore, got 66 votes. Jimenita Swain tells us that last night's win is a clear indication that the party is ready for new leadership.
One by one, Free National Movement council members trickled into their Mackey Street headquarters to cast a ballot for the next national chairman and deputy. A number of former and current parliamentarians were among those council members casting ballots, including former Deputy Prime Minister Brent Simonet, Nico Grant, Kwesi Thompson, Kenyatta Gibson, and Greg Gomez. Voting started around 7:30, and by 9:30, F&M leader Dr. Hubert Minnis held a brief press conference to announce the new winners.
We had a very excellent electoral process. Individuals had shown up from throughout the entire archipelago of the Bahamas to vote. That's democracy. Dion Folks and Darren Cash ran for chairmanship, and Darren Cash was the winner. It was a very, very democratic, non-violent process. Regardless to who had won, I would have worked with either one. After all, this is an inclusive organization.
While Folks and Nemore were unsuccessful in their bids, Minnis says both men will play pivotal roles moving forward, as both candidates have a wealth of knowledge and experience. Meantime, National Chairman Darren Cash says he's prepared to hit the ground running.
Now that the election is behind us, it is time for us to get down to work. I am enthusiastic about coming into the job of helping a new leader and a new deputy leader who bring tremendous energy, passion, and sense of mission to our organization.
Brenzel Roll says he's looking forward to working with all members of the party as it refocuses now that the elections for chairman and deputy are now behind them.
This party needs to refocus its attention on the young and the youth. Particularly, I come from an educational background, so I've had a lot of interest in males and young males. But I think it's important that we, as a party, provide opportunities for young people.
National Chairman Darren Cash says, along with the referendum, there are a number of other issues on which he intends to hold the government's feet to the fire. As for Roll, he says he plans to reconnect with young voters as the party mobilizes towards the next general election. Jimenita Swain, ZNS Network News.
Well, still to come in the Bahamas tonight, we take a look at AIDS awareness as World AIDS Day approaches.
This portion